So the question, in case you couldn't hear, is basically around the idea that it's one thing to make things, it's a whole other thing to run an internet-based business. And there's a lot of resources on Etsy as well as other sites about how to do that. However, the resources on Etsy are kind of not that well organized, and are we thinking about doing at least the seller's guide in a PDF format? So that specific suggestion I will take back. We don't really have that in our plan at the moment, but the larger point is something that we've been talking a lot about, and you're absolutely right. I think that there's an incredible number of resources on Etsy, most of which reside in our blog, which is not that easy to navigate. And there are lots of things that happen either in the blog or in the what we call the virtual labs that are somewhat ephemeral, right? So they're sort of here and they're gone. And I think we haven't developed our skill yet, or our sensibilities around archiving and aggregating and presenting all of these things in a coherent way. And we have a lot of discussion around that. I think even bigger than that, if I may, is, we haven't really, and all of this is, again, because, we're sort of still, even at 4, a young company that's dealing with a fairly explosive growth. But we haven't done a very good job of what I would call, marketing to all of you. By that, I don't mean that in sort of a crass capitalistic way. I mean being more organized about knowing you come onto the site. We should be sending you a note that says, welcome, thank you for joining on Etsy as a seller. Here's the seller handbook. Not making you go find it. And then we should know you just had your 6-month anniversary. Congratulations. We should know that. Or when you have your first sale, we should be sending you a note. Congratulations on your first sale. Did you know? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. There are really an incredible number of resources that are fairly buried in the stork. And we need to do better at that. It's not an uncommon problem on the web where, there's endless real estate. Like there's just, real estate is cheap on the web. You can have a lot of stuff. But the key is to organize that and make it easily findable. And I think we really, when I think about Etsy in terms of like from a business perspective, I talked a little bit about this up front, but our core business right now, actually how we earn money, is mostly related to the commerce activity that happens on the site. But in terms of what we really are and how could we think about our business, I think about it as a learning business, a learning brand, a kind of media brand that produces, content and stories. And I would hope in the future that we get much, much better at that, both for our core business so that we can market to you, and, it's in our interest to have you feel loyalty to Etsy. But also beyond our core business. So I think there's a lot of value in some of the videos that we make that are about showcasing the artists and some of the how-to content. If we can find a way to better distribute that and kind of make that emblematic of the Etsy brand, I think that's good for all of us. So your question is very salient.